Hi folks, and how are you doing today? We're going to be looking at drawing the side profile, particularly a male side profile today. I'm starting off in a pencil sketch, which isn't 100% normal for me. Sometimes I'll do a pencil sketch, sometimes I'll dive straight in with kind of larger, thicker paint strokes. It depends how I'm feeling on the actual day, but today pencil sketching, and you'll notice I'm not using a white background. I'm using kind of a mid-tone brown, just for a skin tone, let's call it. I'll sometimes start off with a blue or a red, a cool tone or a warm tone, depending on how I'm feeling the color palette might want to be. You'll notice I'm already adding in storytelling elements. Today I've decided to go for an Egyptian theme to my drawing. I don't know why, just felt I might want to do that. Over my pencil sketch, I'm doing a darker tone as well, just to help with the overall shading of my sketch. And now I'm adding in some lighter tones as well, just to give my sketch some a lighting direction. So I want to light it purely from the front of the character rather than from the back or from my perspective. Then on a separate layer, I'm going to go ahead and add in brighter colours. Now the reason I'm adding in these very bright kind of garish colours is because I can turn them down. I can turn down the layer opacity and find the kind of mix of the colours I want. Now, on another separate layer, I can add in this kind of warm layer of white to again match in the values that I want. On another layer on top of that, I can go ahead and add in some almost blacks, but it's actually a dark brown, to add back in the detail of the sketch. I'm only doing this on certain elements though, kind of nostrils and the eyes. Focal elements that would be naturally very, very dark. The inside edge of the mouth here. Now I am also going around and adding this around the nose, maybe the edge of the face where the light clashes. It gives it more of a cartoony feel if I add it around the edge of the nose, etc. I don't mind that. It's a sketch, and I want it to have that kind of sketchy feel as well. If this is going to be more of a digital painting with a finished look, then I wouldn't do that. It depends how you want it to go. Now this is a daily sketch for me. Given the name, I obviously do a sketch every day. This is just to help enhance my skills as an artist. Nothing more, nothing less. I hope you do a sketch every day too. It will make you a better artist. And that's what we're going for. I'm not doing this to add it to my portfolio. I'm not doing this because it's for a client. I'm just doing this for a bit of fun. If you've watched my channel recently, you'll see that I'm doing a whole bunch of iPad illustrations and drawings. Hopefully I'm teaching you some techniques that you'll enjoy. And you'll see that I'm doing kind of a wide variety of styles, or at least starting off in different ways. Sometimes starting off in mono, sometimes starting off in colour, sometimes starting off like I've done here with a pencil sketch, sometimes not. Experimenting with your technique is a good way to make you a better artist. Don't always draw in the same manner, and definitely don't always draw the same thing. A side profile of a character is a nice, easy way to practice faces and portraits. I find it's not really a challenge, but what is a challenge is all of the elements together. Say a portrait with a strong light source, story elements that I'm not used to drawing, such as the Egyptian elements here. So you've got metals, fabrics, etc. I'm already seeing things that I don't like his ear is far too big. I know that, I'll fix that, don't worry. But I'm drawing from the imagination. I haven't got a photo reference in front of me. I feel that's quite important. sometimes I do use photo references. I'm not sat at my desk while I'm doing this. I normally do my daily sketch kind of when I've just gotten up or before I go to bed. So I'm not sat in the studio. And what I'll do is, yeah, I'll have my iPad and I'll be drawing on that. And I'll actually use a photo reference on my phone. But right now, I'm actually sat watching a film on my phone or watching YouTube or watching TV or something on my phone while I just draw on my iPad, and that's good daily practice, you know. But everything I'm drawing is from my imagination, so it's that in itself is amazing practice. But the side portrait is something I practice on a regular basis. The front portrait as well. They're things that I kind of know and have gotten comfortable with and used to drawing, but it's also something, you know, you can get better and better and improve yourself at. Whether it's a female portrait or a male portrait or a children's portrait, there are things you can keep practicing at and get better at. And obviously there are different kinds of male portrait, you know, old men, young men, fat men, thin men, everything, different kinds of males from, you know, all over the world. Give them a different bit of character, make them look different, makes them happy, makes them sad. Do whatever you need to do to just bring each one alive in a different way. Right now I'm getting onto drawing the headdress, the fabric here. How can you make that look better than the one that you've drawn before? And like I say, that is the point of the daily challenge. To me, I'm drawing these lines now and some of them look a little further apart than others. I'm not going to hold myself accountable for making them perfect. I don't really mind. Like I say, it's a daily sketch. I'm not going to hang myself over this. But yeah, as long as I learn a few skills and talents during the day with this, I'm happy. As long as the overall sketch is good enough for me, then okay. But as long as there's no glaring, obvious mistakes, like the snake on this wasn't looking so good, can I get it up to a standard where I wouldn't be embarrassed to show anybody? That's the main thing, you know. And can I learn something I didn't know before from drawing this? Then yes. That ear is still looking a bit big. Should it look a bit big? Should it be a bit smaller? What can I do? I don't know. The gold has a nice quality to it, has a nice feeling. I'm happy with the stubble and the cheek. That to me is something I can't remember it drawing and it looking quite like that. So I've got a nice technique going there. The overall colours on his face, there's some green in there and it's looking quite nice. The symbols and the gold that I'm drawing now look quite nice. It could be a bit tighter, but then again, it's a sketch on an iPad. I always find the iPad is good for sketching. I never like to use it for commissioned pieces. You know, it's not the size of the screen so much that I find a problem. It's more the accuracy of the Apple Pencil. The nib I find is a bit big. While I really like it and it's a really comfortable pencil to hold, the Apple Pencil has a really large nib to it. I wish you could unscrew that nib and put a smaller nib, a smaller, more accurate nib on. The pencil is accurate, but the nib itself is quite large and clunky. So, if there is a smaller nib out there, please let me know in the comments below. I haven't managed to find one, and yes, I have searched for it. But everything on this, I'm kind of happy with so far. I know this snake here is the only thing that's kind of jumping at me as being a bit awful and horrible. But there are secrets and tips that I can, show you on this drawing to kind of hide stuff. Especially this kind of lighting that I'm adding to the front of the face is a favourite of mine to kind of blend the character into the background. Something I like to use quite a lot. Even something I'd say maybe I rely on a little too much, but I think a lot of artists do. There you go, that's that snake going. And I did think, can I fix him? But it's actually better to open up a new layer and then just erase him. Now the way I'm erasing him is actually to just paint over and kind of erase him by proxy. Just paint the background back in over the top and then paint in a new snake over that. So don't use the eraser to erase the snake, just paint in a background over the top. Like a matte painter would erase backgrounds from, say, a photograph when they're painting in for a film set. And this snake looks a lot better, but I have to match it into the headdress now. And yeah, this one looks a lot better. I think the secret here is not to paint too much detail. Otherwise it becomes too much of a main focal point, and that's not what we want to do. But it's looking good so far. For me, this character, I could paint him in kind of super high-res detail. And I've done that in some of the other iPad drawings. But this character, I think the main thing is the dark tonal values of the character, the more the lighting and the shading. And I think the warm orange in the background, the brown and the orange, and funnily enough, that really comes from the, how do I put this? That really comes from that warm brown that we put in there really early on. You know, it's kind of within the first minute of the video. So make your good choices really early on. That pencil sketch that I did, that really set all of the boundaries that you see that are here right now. The only thing that I've really changed has been that snake. And you can see me just adding in now a bit more of the fabric. But everything else that's here was here in that initial pencil sketch and that first minute of the video. If you go back and look at the first minute of the video, everything else is here. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like it? I'd love to know. Right, I'll leave it at that. I'll see you all later. Have a wonderful day. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Ciao for now.